Lee, given how well you're doing, how much are you looking forward to Saturday?
Yeah, very much so. I think the boys are in good spirits, which is always good, on the back of 3 wins. And we want to come back home and put in a good performance, particularly in front of the fans, because I thought the atmosphere, the QPR game was absolutely outstanding. And even when we wasn't playing so well, they really stuck with us and saw us through. So hopefully same again, and obviously a big 3 points at stake.
Have you noticed an additional confidence in your players over the last couple of weeks or so?
I always think the confidence comes from the preparation, but given it's such a new group and new partnerships forming, and we've seen some good partnerships, the likes of Casey Palmer and Benik Afobe, and the way they're sort of moving and interacting both on and off the pitch has been nice to see. So our challenge, of course, as staff, is to accelerate those partnerships as quickly as possible, and so far so good. Of course, it's a tough division, but we're at home and we're in good form, so we believe that we can certainly compete with a good Middlesbrough side.
And whether it's training or in a match itself, how do you notice that additional confidence in the players? What impact does it have, do you think?
I think it has a big impact on the environment of the workplace, whether that be just in and around the canteen or the way the boys train. You see various things they do in training, and just that little bit of gravitas and football arrogance, really. And we want that football arrogance. We don't want the complacency that could come with 3 wins and starting to believe the hype, if you like, on social medias and various formats. But what we do want is a trust in the way we play, and to be world class at the basics. And if we do that, then we know we've got really good players that can bring their own sort of USP to the performance.
And on the subject of confidence, does that also have an impact, a positive one on you in terms of decision making, whether it's tactical, teams, substitutions? Do you feel that as well yourself?
I think so. I think when players are playing with confidence, like, naturally you see the good in them, don't you? And that's the key for me, particularly when I'm making tactical changes, and the boys have done well from the bench, and that's important as well, because often you can feel a little bit isolated if you're not starting every minute of every game. But everybody that stepped on from the bench has had a big influence on the performance. So long may that continue, and obviously the standards that we set every day in training create that elite environment, which then gives the players confidence to be able to go on and play their best game, because we know we've got good players, and all we want really is the very best of them.
Does that allow you to make bolder decisions sometimes, given how well the team are playing at the minute and the results you get?
I think you always got to make bold decisions. There's a lot of scrutiny in any managerial job, but let alone a managerial job in the Championship, and sometimes you've got to be brave and bold and go with what you believe, and often that's not what other people think is right. But I think your team, and I trust the players to execute the game plan, whether that be plan A or plan B.
Just want to ask you a quick question in light of what's happening at Bury and Bolton this week, just on the importance in general of ownership, and I suppose good ownership.
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, it's devastating really as a football supporter, if you like. Of course, we don't want to allow people in really to this beloved game that haven't got pure intentions. It's very expensive running a football club, there's no doubt in that. I've seen that at all the levels, both as a player and as a manager now. And I think that we've got to relax certain rules in this country. I think I look at the potential to have a feeder club system, which I think the likes of Bury, for example, if Premier League and English Football Association suddenly allowed feeder clubs, I guarantee Man City or Man United would have quickly bought Bury to be able to play their younger players. And I think it's a fine line, because the club want to keep the identity, but at the same time it is the sort of rich are getting richer, if you like, and the poor are becoming poorer. So we need to find a way to blood young English talent and play, get them game time in what is a competitive men's football. And we also need to keep afloat these fantastic community-based clubs that are the joy and the life and soul of most people's lives in that area. And that's the bit that's frustrating. Obviously, I managed Oldham, which was just down the road from Bury, and I know how passionate both sets of supporters were, and that would be a big loss to the local community and an even bigger loss to football itself.
And lastly, does that make you appreciate Steve Lansdown even more because you're in a good club with a good owner and you know how, I suppose, settled things are?
Yeah, I think we always appreciate Steve Lansdown, the Lansdown family, because of the millions that they've invested throughout the years, and we try and implement the plan that gets us to the point where we can be sustainable. And I think this is a stark reminder that it doesn't matter how big the club is, and Bolton have been a big club, obviously, historically, throughout the years, that it can affect anybody, and it was always going to happen where something like this with a big club could potentially absolutely collapse and crumble. So hopefully Bolton will be dug out, because again it's another fantastic football club, but at the same time it definitely has to be something put in place that if people don't get paid, I don't know, just chucking it out there, an example, maybe that somebody's got to cover in a holding bay that the EFL, the Premier League, hold maybe 3 months of the whole club's wages, and that includes kit ladies, do you know what I mean, people that do the tees, kit men, do you know what I mean, anybody that's involved in that football club needs to be protected, because the bit that frustrates me is it's often those people and the volunteers and the people that put the shift in, if you like, that don't come out with the credit they deserve, or indeed the finances they deserve.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great, James. Hi, Lee. I think City recorded their 8th away win of the season. Of the calendar year 2019 on the weekend. What do you put that success away from home down to?
Good players, I think. I think good players that are athletic and that can handle situations and environments. I think the work that we do, I think we've been pretty consistent away from home, and we looked at everything in terms of the journey. So we've been lucky enough to fly to 5 or 6 games, and probably those wins, I'm sure there's times that we've flown. The way we work when we get to the hotel, because that's important as well. And it's just every minute detail really of trying to assess, can we improve this, that, whether it be the food, whether it be the team meetings, whether it be the information we give the players, whether we put in a team activity to lighten the mood, or whether they need to do a yoga session while they're up there, whatever that is. I think that you keep making correct decisions, inevitably it will come out in the players' performance, and of course they've got to implement and execute that performance, and they're good players with great attitude. So I always feel going into any championship game, even if it's a tough one away from home, that we've got as good a chance as any, due to the attitude and the application of the players.